Hey guys, one of the things I kind of always said to myself, maybe not quite like a mantra, it's not quite that formal, but I say to myself to kind of remind myself of what it is I'm trying to do. Is if I have a shot, I will often say to myself, find the shot, then step into the shot, and then execute the shot. Trying to simplify things, all the steps I go through, but still at least say out loud to myself the three main things. Find the shot. That could be a strategic, what's the correct shot? Step in the shot. Get into the right position to shoot. You're on the right shot line, you're on the right distance, and then you're going to execute the shot. So I just say those three things to myself. And sometimes I don't need to. Sometimes I feel like I do because I don't concentrate very well. There was a guy, I can't remember his name. I have his instructional video. He's the angry British guy. I guess he could be the angry Australian guy. I have a hard time telling them apart. I think the Brits will say bloody, and the Australians will say crikey, something like that. It would be a lot easier if they just wear little, lapel pins with their flags on. Then I could figure it out. But the angry guy, he talked about stepping out of the box and then stepping into the box. What I believe he was talking about was mostly about you're not required to be focused or anything right now when you're outside of the box. When you're inside, now you're in shooting mode, concentration mode, things like that. Certainly valid. But what I talked about, I used to know a guy, he's probably passed on because he was like 104 years old 20 years ago. Still shot fairly well, but he had, well, clearly bad vision. He could count craters on the moon, but he couldn't count the fingers on his own hand. He was very, very, very farsighted. And he would go to shoot, and he described it to me as he's aiming at big fuzzy blobs. And like I said, it wasn't that bad. So a lot of times those fuzzy blobs went in. So what I had him do was, just as far as he could within reason, step back from the shot. This is not stepping out of the box like the angry guy said, but it can kind of accomplish the same thing. But the main reason I had him do it was back here, his vision was as good as it was going to be on that shot. Every step closer he got, the fuzzier the balls got. Not nearsighted at all. He was very farsighted. So just step back. Find your shot when you're back here, when you have a little bit better chance of seeing the shot. Get on the shot line. Get lined up on the shot line when you're back here. And then now the trick is maintain the shot line as you're coming forward. Maintain the shot line. Don't just find it and then go forward. No. Find the shot line and stay on it. Maintain it all the way up. No matter what you have to do, maintain that shot line. Sometimes I advise him, and I do this myself sometimes. Use my stick. Put my stick on that shot line. When I walk forward, maintain. Don't move my stick, in other words. Don't do this to my stick. Maintain that shot line. Anything I could do to stay on it. I usually have to do this. I got a shot like this, where I already have a problem with the ball stuck on the rail. I have some type of optical illusion that happens in cases like this. So if I have a shot like this, there's a lot of times where you'll see me step back. Maybe not as far as I had that guy step back, but further than normal, and put my stick here and try to keep my stick along the same line as I come forward. This can absolutely help. It can absolutely help. Another thing that can absolutely help me anyway, is when I'm doing my practice strokes, I've never understood people doing this or people doing this. When I'm doing them, a lot of times, it depends on what physical style I'm shooting with. But if I have like a downward component to whatever style I'm using, you'll see me doing my practice strokes like this along that shot line. I'm doing it along that shot line. So now I don't just have a cue on the shot line, I have motion on that shot line. And that absolutely helps me to be able to just maintain the shot line and put the shot in. Absolutely. Might be something that, could help some of you guys. That's why I do all this stuff. I mean, it really is. I had a guy that made a comment recently about having all these ideas to help my viewers. That is part of it. But another part of it is I need to remember this stuff and I forget. So I make these videos to remind myself and maybe at the same time help out somebody that maybe doesn't see as well as they used to. Maybe when you were young, you just, oh, okay, and shoot the shot and it's going to go in. I was like that when I was young. Not like that anymore. I'm not quite to the stage where I need to come back here all the time and do this all the time. Sometimes I am like that though. I guess the trick, at least for me, is to slow down enough to be able to recognize when I need that extra help to find the shot line and step into the shot line correctly. The other thing that happens a lot with me is because I play a lot of bank pool and because I don't have very good depth perception, is I get into a habit of just getting down on the shot like that and shooting in. Now that shot happened to go in, but there's no guarantee that that's going to happen all the time. What I try to do is find that angle when I'm still standing up, when I'm over the table a little bit. I have better view of the angle. And then maintain that angle. Just like I talked before, I maintain the angle as you move forward. In this case, I'm trying to maintain that angle as I come down. As you come down on the shot line. Whether or not I'm just coming straight down or coming down like this. Trying to maintain that angle. You see me bob my head up and down to make sure I'm still on that same angle. Then shoot the ball in. These are all things that can help. I don't think they hurt. Maybe I guess it could hurt your rhythm. It could hurt your rhythm if before you shoot a shot, you have to walk back here and then walk forward. And that could mess up your rhythm. And I guess if you're old and infirmed enough, maybe I had a bad foot a couple years ago that, yeah, it's hard to walk back here and then walk all the way back up here and do this. But if it's necessary, is it worth it? If it's necessary, probably is. In a lot of cases, it probably is. I found out when I was doing my little daily chores, when I first started doing them, that I had more success on this simple thing where I'm taking ball in hand on every shot. I have more success if I just step back a little bit. And it's not to step out of the box, like the angry guy said, and get my brain in the right mode. It's to make sure I'm on the shot line and make sure I maintain the shot line coming all the way forward and then shoot the shot. I have more success. That's not a night and day difference, but I have more success just stepping back a little bit. You see some of the top players out there now do something like that on almost every shot. One of the most disciplined players that I've seen is Federer. And Federer, almost every shot, he just steps back a little bit, and he's holding his cue at port arms, and this is his consistent starting point. I don't think he's walking into the shot line. He might be, but he's absolutely Okay, now he's ready to shoot. And he can get into the shot like that. Stepping into the shot quickly. Fire the shot and step into the shot. And then, of course, the third thing that I talked about was to be able to execute the shot. I do that with my practice strokes more than anything else. Make sure as I'm bending down that I'm staying on that proper shot line. Sometimes I'll walk all the way back here and get on that shot line. Maybe even use my stick. If I'm using my stick, I can't really do practice strokes when I'm doing that. But come forward without moving my stick. Most of the time, if I come back, then I'm coming forward and doing this. Not this. Not this. Not this. On that shot line. The whole time. Absolutely helps. I don't think it hurts. If it does hurt, it could affect my rhythm. But if I am already to the point where I have to make, that kind of concession, do that type of thing, walk backwards and do all this stuff, I'm probably not shooting very good anyway. So my rhythm is probably not doing me very much good anyway. And I think that's all I just want to say about that. Yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys.